guys, hopefully you enjoyed that little montage of my rat rod. If you stuck around this far in the video, I'm guessing you want to know a little bit more about it, so I'm going to try to tell you as much as I can about it. Obviously my channel is mainly rock bouncing, but I'll throw in random videos like this because I love RCs of all kinds, and if you see my collection, which I may do a video on, so if you want to see my collection, let me know. But if you've glanced at it, you know that I like all forms of RCs, and long before I got into rock bouncing, I was a strictly nitro person until about 2017, 2018 maybe, is when I got into electric RCs. So been into nitros for a long time. But anyway, let's talk about the rat rod. So the couple of posts that I've made has told me that you guys think I kind of undersell this thing, and yes, there is a lot of work that goes into it, and sometimes I just forgot all the little details that I've done. So I'm just gonna try to give you kind of the basics. We're gonna go through the whole thing, but I'm gonna try to give you the basics of what I actually started with. It's a Savage HPI Savage transmission along with the engine mount. That's the only pretty much Savage products that are on it. We're gonna have to go inside and look at some parts for you to get a handle on how I actually built this rear axle. But the body is a 1/6 Nylite Jeep body. You used to be able to get them at Walmart. If you're familiar with my channel, you'll know that I kind of got obsessed with these bodies, and I'll put up some pictures of Old Blue, and you'll see the lowrider that I'm building in a second. They're all around the same body, but we're gonna get into some of the details of this thing. So many have noticed that there's bike chain right here. Yes, that is part of the actual frame. That is what everything is mounted to. Yes, it is all welded together. Yes, it was a pain in the ass, a lot of degreasing, and I've never tried to weld bike chain before, but that was as pretty as I could get it to look, which it doesn't look that bad in my eyes. But anyways, that is bike chain. Also with the link mounts, these two pieces are two pieces of chain that are welded together. There's more chain up here that is part of the front shock mount. You can see it goes through the grill and back down to the support bar. It's just kind of braced in there. What else? There's a lot of details. I'll show you the underneath real quick, because there's, hey, my bolt's coming out. I forgot to put a nut on there. You guys can see that. But anyway, I built the whole thing. The whole thing's, I believe this is 1/4 inch. I used a 1/4 inch solid rod, and as you see, there's a lot of stuff going on under here. So obviously it's a Savage transmission. It's a 2-speed nitro transmission, and I'll have to show you one of the truggies inside, but just remember that this is a Kyosho truggy center diff for a nitro RC. Along with this, the rear differential, if you actually wipe off all the dust, you can see that it says Kyosho. It is from a Kyosho truggy. I will show you that once we go inside, but I just want to point out some more details about this thing. Obviously I love nitros. One of my first RCs was a HPI Savage, and I grown obsessed with nitros, so I have a lot of random parts, and all these guys on here are all made from old nitro pistons. Everybody used to make them into keychains. I still have a bunch of keychains, but I made them into little guys everywhere, obviously called the Hill Ninja. So I had a little badge put on there, and of course he's holding the shovel. There's another guy. I'm gonna take my Hill Ninja out. Don't mind his legs. He had an accident where he didn't fit, so we had to cut off his legs. But anyways, so all the little, oh, I left the remote on. So all the little pedals I made, they're all just like thin sheet metal, and as you can see, I just drilled them all out. And the little pedal under there, I made that. All this was like a jewelry chain, which I kind of got a solder back on there because it's loose. But that used to be a piece of jewelry that you hang around your neck, and it is all soldered together and serving as my steering wheel, along with my shifter. Got my shifter. There's another little guy there. That's also a piece of jewelry chain. Going along with the theme of this whole thing, which is obviously nitro. It's called Meth Head for a reason. And all these little arms, those are from nitro pistons, obviously. We got a oh shit handle. We got a handbrake. And this is actually the lights that you're not going to be able to see because it's daytime. But that's a clutch bell. Same thing, that's right there. So I integrated that into the dash and put a light switch on it. So it has front headlights. There's a light in his head, so his eyes and his mouth and all that stuff light up. And back here, my very faded taillights. But also these are piston sleeves. So the sleeves from the pistons, these are what I made into the taillights. They're piston sleeves. And once again, we have another guy chilling back here. We got this guy hanging on. His mouth kind of got messed up. I think he got hit in the head with a rock. But his mouth got a little messed up, but he's still hanging in there. The bumper was actually from Old Blue, or actually no, Toy Grade. Once again, I'll put up a picture of that one. Another one of my crawlers that I made, but put that on there just for some, I don't know, nostalgia, I guess. But yeah, what else? Oh, so obviously the interior, I made the seats. See, this is where people say I undersell it. I don't undersell it, I just forget. I did so much stuff to it, and it's just kind of, I don't know, second nature to me. But anyways, so I made the seats. These used to be a complete flat piece of sheet metal, and I made my own dimple die and cut out the seats, bent them all up, found some Mexican blanket style stuff because I wanted to go with the hot rod theme. So made my own seats. They're completely out of scrap. The floor, you can see, is my two favorite drinks, Monster and Coke. Probably not the best things for you, but it's what I drink. Anyways, so that's a little bit more on the interior. I tend to forget about that stuff, but some other simple things is the body mounts for this. You can see there's a screw right here, and there's a screw over there. It's mounted just like a real truck, whatever. It has body mounts, but those are the two up front. It has two back here, and these are diff gears with nuts welded onto them, and they go through the back. And if I was to take the body off, if I can get it to line up, one hand. Anyway, those two are how you take the back of the body off. So if I take that one on off, that one off, take that screw out, take that screw out, unclip a couple wires, and the whole body comes right off. Also, all the rust that you see on this is real rust. I did the whole vinegar and baking soda and salt trick, and it is all real rust. Also, something I forget to mention, that this firewall is metal. It's real metal. This dash is all metal, obviously, because I got the clutch bell into it, but that's something I forget to mention. The dash and the firewall are metal, the seats are metal, so everything on this is real rust. You may ask how I got a plastic body to rust, but if you see the rivets, there's a thin, really thin piece of sheet metal that I molded into it, kind of bondoed into it, made it kind of look like it was all worn, and then did the rust trick so it all rust. So all the rust on this is real. There's no paint tricks here. Kind of see the other side. I did want to set the front up like a typical hot rod or rat rod with the straight axle, which once again is something that I always forget. But I made the whole front axle. These are buggy, actually no, they're Kyosho Truggy hubs this part. I don't know if you call them a hub, but whatever you want to call them. The hub carrier is what I know them as, but yeah, that's what I use for the end of that. This is all, I believe, there's a piece of brake line and there's a piece of solid rod to make up the front axle. Made my own links for the top. These are some crawler ones that I had. These are axial Wraith, or sorry, AR-60 link mounts. Did I miss anything else? I think that's pretty much everything besides showing you how I made that axle. Well, you can kind of get a good look at it. Just remember what it looks like right now. And yes, all the suspension does work. Alright, let's go check out the Truggy. Alright, so I think this is, I don't even know what model it is. I'm pretty sure it's a Kyosho Evo Truggy, Nitro version. But the reason I'm showing you this is because the rear axle in that came out of this. So every time I posted it in a group, when I say I made a solid axle from independent suspension parts, this is what I mean. I took the center or the rear diff and the rear hub carriers, whatever you want to call them, and made my own pretty much solid axle out of it, because I didn't want independent in the rear of the rat rod, just because it just wouldn't gave it too much suspension travel, and it's a rat rod. It sits super low, so it doesn't need that much suspension travel, and I wanted a solid axle in the rear, so that's why I did that. And also, if you remember me saying that this is a center diff out of, oh crap, hang on, I gotta get my parts. But anyway, this is the center diff out of the Kyosho, and I'll show you what it used to look like. But I'm using it as a carrier bearing, pretty much just a bearing in the middle to support that rear drive shaft and this one, because I didn't have one long enough. And if anybody knows, if you have a drive shaft that's from here to there, you're gonna have a lot of wobble in it, and it's gonna shake a lot. And that's what it used to do when it was electric. If you guys remember, I've made this, at first it was nitro, and then I blew a transmission, which made me make it electric, and now it's back to nitro. So in between those, I made some changes, because this thing used to have a SCX6 rear axle in it, and it had crawler gearing, so it used to be really slow. And you can see in the videos now that it hits second gear, and I'm pretty sure that's a 2-speed. I don't think it's a 3-speed. So it hits second gear, which is awesome, because it never did that before. And having it electric, when I had the brushless conversion in it, because I have a brushless Savage, or had one. But anyways, I have all the parts from it. So it was brushless, and with the crawler gearing, it was still really slow. So this is probably the fastest it's ever been, and it's a lot of fun. I'm gonna go get one of these center diffs so I can show you that real quick. I bought a big Kyosho lot, so I used to have like 4 of the Kyosho Truggies, which I still kind of do. They're over there in the parts bin, but more Kyosho parts. So this is the center diff. It goes, well, right there. So that is what I used, but I just grinded off all the gear. You can see, grinded off all the gear, because I didn't need that. I just needed it to be a carrier bearing, pretty much. So that's how I did that, and that is a Savage transmission with reverse, but I'm not using reverse because I'm not used to having reverse, and I hit the switch on the first time I built it, and that's how I blew the other transmission. So not doing that again. All right, so if you guys, actually, I kind of deleted all my crawler videos. Eventually I'll maybe do some updated crawler videos, but I need a crawler first. Anyways, this is old blue. So that body, and that body are all the same bodies. They all started the same way. One started as toy grade, which was my other crawler. I'll put a picture up here of what the full body looks like before I started cutting them all up. But we have my Nitro Rat Rod. Eventually we'll bring back Old Blue as my crawler. I need another SCX6 front axle. Actually, I'll show you guys that. So that's what used to be on the back of the Rat Rod. It's a SCX6 rear axle with the crawler gearing. So it was really slow. Great axle, really slow though. But anyways, so eventually I'll have my Rat Rod, and this is my lowrider that I'm building. I had another body, which is the body from toy grade. Yeah, I reuse a lot of stuff. But anyways, it's the body from toy grade that I decided to make into a lowrider because I had another body and I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to build another crawler because I have Old Blue, and wasn't really sure on what kind of style I wanted to go to. So this is my lowrider that's sitting at drop height. The front axle is not attached. I haven't got that far yet, but the rear is attached, and it will lift, I don't know, probably about 1.5 inches or so off the ground. And it's got a don't mind that, I was fixing my door. But anyways, it's got an Arma 6S center diff in there, Losi LST XXL rear axle, and obviously the rest I'm building. But yeah, that's kind of the breakdown on my Nitro Jeep collection, I guess. Well, I had to turn the light off for you guys to see everything, but there's another Kyosho Truggy, a couple of them, a couple more Savages, random Red Cat. But if you guys want to see more of the collection and want to know more about it, let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll do a 2025 update of my collection.